Hello, students. Today, let's start with Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Before going into the detail, I would instruct all of you to keep your books in front of you and follow the explanation and recitation. Now, before going to the recitation of the poem, let us discuss the theme of the poem, which says hatred and power of emotions are the major themes of the poem. The poet discusses the destructive features of human emotions. Okay, he uses the symbols of fire and ice to show how desire and hatred contribute to making the world stand at the verge of turmoil or chaos. And these powerful emotions actually can bring the world toward a catastrophic end. That means it can destroy the world. So now let's go to the recitation of the poem line by line. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Now, in this poem, the first stanza expresses how the world will end, and few people, like a category of people, not all, they believe that the world will be destroyed by fire, while others argue that it will be frozen, that it will be destroyed by ice. Okay, now here in the first stanza we see that the reader or the speaker, whomever you can see, is taking fire to be the main destructive force for the world. The poet associates fire with desire, the emotion desire. Okay, and the next stanza says just the opposite. It says, but if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So, here in the next stanza, what we come to know is what the poet said in the beginning, that in the first stanza, that the world will come to an end by fire. That's desire. But here, if the world has to perish twice, get destroyed twice, then it has to be by ice, and ice is represented by the emotion hate. So hatred is equally capable of destroying the world like desire. Desire is associated with fire, so fire can destroy the world, as well as ice also can destroy the world. So both has the same force to destroy the world. So here fire and ice, like if we see the other interpretation, we see that fire is flame, right? Flame can actually burn the world to ashes, destroy, while ice can also freeze the world to destruction. So both are equally important and both are equally negative. So the main product to which we are reaching is destruction of the world. So this is a negative aspect. The whole poem has a negative aspect, and there is no choice. The whole theme of the poem says about the choice and fear. Choices when both the options are given, and either one if you choose, you'll get the same result, like destruction. So this is the whole poem. Now there are few literary devices or poetic devices used. Just check, like alliteration. Alliteration, repetition of the same alphabet in two words in the same line. Okay. So the first line says, some say say starts with S again. So some say is alliteration here. The same way in the first line only we see world will do. So W and W, when it is repeated, then it is alliteration. So now it is your task to find out more alliteration from the poem. Now the next literary device is symbolism. Symbolism is, symbols, where symbols are used to signify ideas and qualities. Here, what we see, fire is a symbol of desire and ice is a symbol of hatred. The third poetic device is imagery. Here we see imagery where a thing gives out another meaning than its literal meaning, okay? And especially related to the five senses, which actually allures the five senses in a human being. Like fire and ice stands for desire, passion, and hatred, coldness in human relations, right? Fire also connotes the feeling of heat and burning, pain, etc. As I told you, five senses. So, feeling. And ice also connotes the feeling of coldness, hatred, intolerance, indifference, and so on. So, this is imagery, okay? Another poetic device is anaphora. Anaphora is a repetition of a word in the two repetitive lines, like one after the other. Like, so the first line starts with some and the second line also starts with some. So this is the same word which repeats in one after the other line, right? I mean, like in the first line also and even in the second line also. Then it's anaphora. It's a repetition of expression, some, okay? Now, then personification could be another one, which gives human qualities to inanimate objects, right? Like fire and ice, they are capable of destruction, okay? So destruction is actually a negative quality for the living beings to do. Now here, fire and ice, being non-living, is animated with a word destruction. They also can destroy. So this is more or less about poetic devices. Now let us come to the rhyme scheme of the poem. How to see the rhyme scheme? Just see the last words of each line and we have to number them or name them according to the last word, like matching. The first line ends with fire, so if we mark it A, then the second ends with ice, so we can mark it as B. The third is desire, so fire and desire matches, both of them match, so we can again write it to be A, and the last is also fire, so it's like desire, A. So the first stanza says A, B, A. Okay, now let's do in the same manner the second stanza. Twice is already matching with ice in the second line of the first stanza, so it is B. And then hate is completely a new word which doesn't match with anyone before, so hate is we can tell it as C, so BC, and then ice with twice, so it's B. Great with hate is C, and then and suffice with ice is B again. So the second stanza says as B, C, B, C, B. So now the whole rhyme scheme of the whole poem is A, B, B, C, B, C, B. Okay, so we will be giving the question and answers. So till then, thank you so much.